Hey guys, Fox here. It's time for the game room tour. I had finished building this wall here in my basement. Doesn't look perfect, but I got it done. And the new game room is in here. So I figured I'll give you guys a nice tour. So, I've done many game room tours here on YouTube, but this is one of the dream ones that I've thought about building for quite a long time. Just enough room for all my junk. So, let's get to it and let's just look at everything that's in the room. Over here, got the Persona 5 original poster, and up top above them, got the Funkos for Persona 5. The only one I'm missing actually is the Arsane one, but he actually demands quite a bit of price, but I'm fine with that because it's not like I can fit any more up on that shelf anyway. Down here is a controller shelf. It's on wheels, which is nice, and I just keep all the controllers for the various systems in here that I might need. I have more, but they're all put away in the storage closet. Up here, got a little print from Falcom for Aricia and a Streets of Rage, one of those pixel frames. Really nice. Underneath the lamp, I've got a couple of my favorite anime movies. We got Weathering with You with some figures, and Your Name with their figures. Down here, I just got one of those Fox statues that I had forever ago. The main piece in the room that most of the gaming's done on is a Sony Bravia 75-inch. This is a full array LED TV. Really like it. Works well with the PS5, of course. On the entertainment system, I have a 2.1 Klipsch system for audio. I love good audio. And that's all powered by a old Yamaha, but it works quite well. There's my new Lunar standee, followed by a Switch OLED, a little salt lamp, Arsane here chilling underneath the TV. I think it looks pretty good there. And in the shelves underneath, I got a couple Legos stuff there. We got a Mr. Machine and the Ecto 1. My Game Gear games. A couple of the analog systems that I use. Some controller docks and a Link amiibo. PS5. Xbox One X. I get those damn names confused. Sometimes. I got a TV box there, cable box, a Vaultec lunchbox, and a couple of the Switch carry cases. On top of the sub sits a Persona 5 pillow that you guys see in almost all my videos. And over here I have a Grandia art piece. Really like that. A Pokemon clock. And here's some Dragon Force stuff. I got an ad print there from a magazine, followed by those Sega Freaks cards. I really like those. I finally got the last one that I was missing, which is Leon for you Dragon Force fans. You'll see him a little bit later. He just hasn't been put up yet. These shelves took a while to build up, but they are IKEA shelves, but they're nicer than their normal bookshelving, I'd say. but they really fit well in this corner. Allows me to display and store a lot of stuff in them, so really digging them. And up top behind, I have LED lights up there with my amiibos. I don't keep a lot of amiibos in their packaging. It just takes up a bit too much room, but I do have some. In here is my Trails of Cold Steel collection. That's just Trails of, actually. A lot of pin box pins, collector's editions. Got Altina stat of a figure there. And down here we have some more Cold Steel stuff with Marine. And even more Cold Steel. We got the collector's editions for 3 and 4. More pin box pins, and these, I'm not sure where they came from, but they are Falcom. Little like chibi-like mini figures. And then on the other side of them, I got Trails in the Sky stuff. Lots of pin box pins. I really like those. These books are really good. Lots of great artwork. I think you can still, they're done by Udon, but they still might be available on Amazon. That's where I got them. And they weren't terribly expensive. We got Trails from Zero, some of the Crossbell stuff. A lot of this is from that collector's edition that we got from NIS, with a few pin box pins and a random little Owaze figurine. And in here we got more Crossbell collector's edition. So this is the Japanese stuff, the original PSP releases and their collector's editions. One of them came with these little minifigs of Tio and Ellie. That Rishia is just a little plastic standee with more pin box pins, of course. And below that, I have the Sega Saturn collection. Not a lot of super good stuff, because most of my really good stuff is working designs related, and we'll get to that shelf later. We got some of my loose games, like my Guardian Heroes and my Christmas Nights. And a couple of River City Girls standees just chilling there. Next to that is the Sega CD collection. I put my loose Sega CD discs in DVD cases and just printed out some artwork. I thought it allowed some better shelf presentation, and I don't know, it looks pretty good to me. There's my Chrono Cross promotional clock. I think that was a pre-order bonus. Below that, we've got some amiibos in the box. See, we have Shovel Knight and Metroid Dread, and a couple figurines for Bloodborne and Dark Souls. Down here are various books, some strategy guides. You have 2 Stardew Valley guidebooks, is because they just keep updating it when they release new patches for that. The Godwoken book is a really good graphic novel for prequel to Divinity Original Sin 2. And of course, the polygonal Final Fantasy VII figures. Next to that, some more strategy guides. And above that is my Nintendo storage box, which has, if it wants to come out properly here, a bunch of Nintendo games, a lot of the black box games in here. Some Tengen games. A couple loose manuals. And up here is a Zapper controller and an NES Max. Down here we got more strategy guides. Feel free to pause if you guys want to take a look at those. Most people don't care. N64 loose games, which are most of mine. As you can see up there, I put top labels on there. Dr. Mario, Donkey Kong 64, and Paper Mario. Pull this out. Here is some more. And some good ones. Mostly ones I want. I think I have almost all the N64 games I want, minus, you know, getting some of these games in the box and having their manuals. Here's some more. Conquer Spur Bad Fur Day. That's a good one. And down here are loose Genesis games. And more loose Genesis games, including a couple Master System games. Above that, it's just some anime figurines. We got My Hero Academia and some Dragon Ball stuff. Bakugo, one of my favorites from My Hero. And over here is my Eve Hypo in the box. And the collector's statue from the 10th anniversary edition. This one's pretty cool as it does turn on. Let me get my hand back there. Turn it on here.
Come on, Mr. B. Time to find some angel.
Pretty cool. Oh, sorry about that camera work there. Switch, of course, is way in the back, which is kind of inconvenient, but it looks pretty cool. Above that, I got some of my Persona 5 stuff, a couple Futaba little figurines there, Mona up top, a couple of the cards. Up there, darkened, is a Joker loose amiibo and Joker's mask from the first Royal Collector's Edition. The latest Royal Collector's Edition hasn't quite come out yet, just the steelbooks. Up top, we got some random stuff. We got some Harvest Moon or Story of Seasons, one of the two. Those little plushies were pre-order bonuses. Little Dream Class clock up there. Complete Mario paint. My Super Mario Bros. 2 glass. And an NES Advantage. Over here, I got Jack Frost and Melania from Elden Ring. And hidden behind Melania is a Mishi plush from the Trails of series. From Michelin. Down here I got more Persona 5 figures. Joker, Kasumi, and the Fig Pin collection from them. And a Hifumi keychain back there. Down here we got some of my mangas, however you want to pronounce them. And some Persona, this is all specifically Persona stuff, including a couple Persona strategy guides hidden back there and a soundtrack. There's the P4 antagonist, Nidoroid, on PlayStation clock. Down here is my anime collection, for the most part. I do enjoy watching anime from time to time. I don't watch it all the time, but I stay up to date on some of my favorite series, like Dragon Ball and My Hero. I watch Demon Slayer as well. And there's a Love Hina clock with Naru on there. Here's some more random mangas that I've gotten as gifts. I like the Suzuka series, really good romantic anime. A couple figures. And down here, there are some books and Nintendo Power magazines and whatnot. Let me know if you guys have any questions about any of the books, the figures, games, or whatever you see in this video. I'll be happy to answer those in the comments. Right here is a little shelf for the quintessential quintuplets. A really funny, really well done harem anime, but it's a nice rom-com. Not too over the top with the fan service either, so. Here's some of the working design stuff from the shelf. Galleon puppet. I'm doing a series on these on my quest to complete a working designs collection, which I don't think will ever get done, but hopefully I'll at least get all the games. But here's all the extras and some of the working designs books, strategy guides, if you will. Here are the games that I have. Yep, 4 copies of Dragon Force. That's because I have every variant disc. But the 2 top ones are disc only. And this one up here is a non-working copy of Magic Knight Ray Earth. Unfortunately, no worky. That's alright. Yep, enjoying working on this collection. It's my focus right now. Up top, more Persona 5 stuff with Makoto front and center. We got a Mona Needroid, which is an awesome one. And my only Figma, because I don't like Figmas, but it's the only way I can get Skull. So hopefully we get a Skull statue sometime. And there's a Skull tumbler behind him. And up here is just like a little catch-all area for some other stuff. We got the Fire Emblem Echoes amiibos with the Normandy sitting on there. We got Arcrise Fantasia, little print, a Love Kirby that my son got me for Valentine's Day. We got an Asa from the Anime Shuffle, some Divinity Dice, a Lemming, and a wood little 3D standee for Stardew Valley, and a watch there. All right, let's move on. Over to the side of the shelf, I have a couple little shadow boxes with some Zelda amiibos and some Pokemon small figures and even smaller Pokemon starter figures. We've got the South Park Stick of Truth and Fractured Butthole figures. Here's one of my little favorite parts, is all the gaming collector pins that I have. I have a ton and I still like looking for them. So this thing's almost full too, so I might have to get another one. Here is the window. I'm obviously in the basement there, but I thought instead of keeping the dreary window well landscape, I decided to get some fun little shelves that I put together and put some plants and other little knickknacks, including the Lucky Cat, a little Chinese teacup that I got from the China area in Epcot, and a couple little My Neighbor Totoro dish and cup. Got some video game controller curtains here that my wife picked out, and we got some collector's editions up top. Really like those Nintendo Switch ones. I'm glad they all have the same box size. I like the uniformity. Looks great. And then above here where the ceiling does drop, I have a Persona 4 little poster, and I have some Trails of character cards that I framed up. I thought looked pretty good, and they fit up here just perfect. And we have the kid from Bastion. And what's nice about that was I met the artist, the lead artist for Supergiant Games, and she signed it for me, Gen Z. Very cool. So we go over here, a little Pac-Man light with some candles and whatnot up top. But down here we have a bunch of Game Boy stuff. A lot of my Game Boy Complete in Box games, including those Pokemons, and some loose Game Boy games that are in cassette tape cases, which is pretty cool and interesting. Project that I was working on, but I had a hard time finding the artwork for all of them. But just holds the game loose in there. Down there's some stuff to care for the plants. Here's the imports Game Boy games and Game Boy Color, including a box Super Game Boy. Not the big one, the little one, unfortunately. I still would like to have the big one. Here are my Complete in Box Game Boy games continued. And some Complete in Box Game Boys. A lot of pockets there and one original. Down here we have accessories for the Game Boy. Power pack, printer, camera, some cases, Light Boy, Game Genie. Fun stuff down there. All right, and over here we have the BioShock That light I had custom made, and some guy in Australia made that. Really cool, lights up and everything. That big box back there is the 10th anniversary collector's edition for BioShock the Collection. Here is a French steelbook, little BioShock hat, and inside the case we have a lot of my collection there. Behind Andrew Ryan's statue there is a signed copy of the original BioShock by Ken Levine. That Inter-Rapture box has a Xbox 360 faceplate and a lanyard and stuff that was given out to GameStop managers. A YouTuber from a long time ago, I don't think he's been on YouTube forever, and I forgot his name. That's how long it's been. Did a trade with me and he gave me that. Got the collector's coin back there, some Legos for BioShock, the art books, the Breaking the Molds, the one that was sold to the public, and the developer's edition, which was given to the development team. There's the collector's edition statue and the little sister that you could buy from Irrational. And that's just a vinyl by Big Daddy. Down here we have BioShock 2 stuff mostly, with the collector's edition in the back. You got the big sister, the Rosie, a couple pop figures for them, a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Eleanor big sister with a little sister. Below that we have some Infinite. Sorry about the glare, guys. With the art book, the strategy guide, Songbird, Booker and Elizabeth, and some pops. And down here we have some more accessories: the lunchbox tin, the vinyl score, little journal, a bunny slicer mask with a Subject Omega figure in the back, and a Brute splicer, Mario trash can, and some Game Boy games. These are some of the more higher dollar or just better Game Boy games that I put on display here. The rest of my Game Boy games are put away in a shelf in the storage closet. Well, Home Alone's not really that great. I just enjoy Home Alone. There's a couple of my heavy hitters. Castlevania Legends and Kid Dracula. All the Turtles games. Radical Rescue being one of the rare ones too. Mario Picross, one of my favorite puzzle games. And Dick Tracy is surprisingly rare. And then some Game Boys. And this one is actually my original one that I bought as a kid. I believe I was 8 years old when I got that. Kind of proud that I actually refound that. I lost it, and then my friend found it in his parents' basement 30 years later. Sorry, I'm popping in a VHS that decided to stop, but anyways, here is my Hades poster with Zagreus on there, and my PSP clock. Up here we got the micro systems that all released, and a couple special editions up top. Including a Box 360. I got a Box Famicom back there behind that Sonic statue that came with the Sonic Mania Special Edition. Below that I got a Super Nintendo, my Tecmo Super Bowl redone cart as of 2021, after the Bucks won the Super Bowl. I'm a huge Buccaneer fan. And then GameCube, TurboGrafx, a Castle Crasher, a PS2 Slim, Xbox, Sega Genesis with the Sega CD, a Superboy back there, NES Toaster, Dreamcast, and an N64. Over here we got Xenoblade 2 the special edition with Mithra and Pyra up front. A Big Daddy, a PS1 with the LCD screen. A little Rowan the Racer thing that my son made because he loves Sonic, so he made his own version. So he called him Rowan the Racer. That's my son's name. Fire Emblem Awakening stuff with an art book, soundtrack, Tharja statue, and a little Lucina amiibo. Got my limited run games cards. One of those books is full and the other one's just now started to begin. Fate Stella special edition. I'm not sure why that's there, but whatever. We got Cartman, Wizard, my Steam Deck, my Sega Saturn, and just above that are the micro systems in case I just want to pull them down and play them, including a little Final Fantasy clock. Down here, just a little 90s quarter, I call it. I got some home improvement crap, a Discman that works really well, actually. Old TV guide. My little 13-inch Sony Trinitron that's playing a Pokemon VHS. And then here are a few VHSs. There's my Mario question box lamp, and there's that Leon card that I still need to take care of. And here's my computer, my workstation here. With my favorite desk mouse pad, which is a Persona 5. And below that, I got some storage here for various things. I got like headphones and other cords in here. This one has a lot of the microsystem controllers, so I can just grab whatever one I need. And then here is just random stuff. Switchers, extension cords, whatnot. Nerf guns apparently. VHS reminder, and cables, hookup cables for all those systems that are up top. And then over here, I got some more special editions up top. Power Glove, my copy of Bastion soundtrack that's signed by the Supergiants team. Below that, I got my Super Mario Brothers lunchbox and the thermos. Stardew Valley sign with the KFC little plushes from in the mid to late 90s. I got Vulpix and Zubat there. I got a Marnie Figma, or not Figma, sorry, Nidoroid. I got a Pip-Boy, Voltec bobblehead. A couple more special editions. Cosmos from Xenosaga. And my boxed PC game collection. All the games that I used to play as a kid. I'm still missing a few, but some of those ones, like those LucasArts titles, are fairly expensive to get in the box. Down here is all my handhelds. And there's more handhelds in here. Game Boy Micro, PSP, and N-Gage. Game Boy Color and Game Boy Pockets. A couple Game Boy Advances. And on this side we got a Game & Watch. New 3DS. Game Boy Light. And a DS Lite. We got a Vita 2nd Gen, and that's a DS XL, or DSi I should say. Down here got a couple of those long special editions that just don't properly fit on a shelf, so they got put into here. This ALS container holds Super Nintendo games. Couple Super Famicom in the middle. One's Bahamut Lagoon. I think the other one's Mother 2. Yep. And then we got Tifa, the Play Arts Kai figure. She looks pretty good, but I'm not totally satisfied. I just don't like these posable figures. Just don't like the way the joints look. And, you know, it's the same way as I feel about Figmas, so I may sell her eventually and just, I don't know, maybe I'll get a different one. Some Atari box stuff and a Pac-Man glass and the Pac-Man amiibo. And below that is some of my collector cards. I dabble in Magic every once in a while, and the Dragon Ball Super card game. Really like the artwork and the foil done on those cards. It's a lot of fun to just collect. This guy's empty. Down here I have a micro fridge, I should say, that I put some sodas and stuff in every once in a while. Here's more of my VHS collection. And there's more VHS. More in here too. I like that old media. And then right next to here we have some DVDs, including some stuff from like Game Chasers, Game Sack, Happy Console Gamer, and some other movies, and lots of video game soundtrack discs. I love video game soundtracks, and these are all the small ones. Here is my small N-Gage collection with the Neo Geo Pocket Color sitting on top of it. And above that are my Neo Geo Pocket Color games. And a couple import Saturn games. And Marty and Doc Funkos. Above that we have a Sonic 2 poster. The Keyblade sitting above it. And below we have the Trails of Cold Steel 3 wall scroll. Up above the game wall, I have my boxed consoles. The Grandia scroll next to it. And above the games, I have a Joker amiibo, a couple Grandia items there, some boxed Vita PSP stuff, mostly the XC releases, all the Ys games, and boxed 2DSs, 3DSs, XLs, new, old, and my only original model, which is the Fire Emblem Awakening one. And then below here we have my DS collection. Sorry about the flashing. Maybe that VHS wasn't a good idea. Pokemon Typing Adventure, that's the PAL Region 1, but it's in English. It's a pretty fun game. Moving down to the 3DS. And below that is N64 boxed with my loose manuals for N64, with my GameCube stuff, and Super Famicom. It's a little Mario figurine. Below that are my boxed Game Gear, and then Master System. And my very small but satisfying TurboGrafx 16 games. And Dreamcast right below that. Got a couple Tiger handhelds and an original Mario Brothers Game & Watch. And a copy of Spy vs. Spy on the Master System there. Got my Nintendo Disk System games. And the cool Famicom Mini Game Boy Advance little collector games. I only have one, but I thought they were pretty cool. There's my Luigi's Mansion, a little mini like statue thing that I got from Club Nintendo forever ago when they used to give cool physical rewards. And a Super Game Boy and a Super Game Boy 2. Below that, I got Sega Genesis. And a horribly mangled Light Crusader game that was shoved into a clamshell. I didn't know better when I bought that. More Genesis. And loose Genesis games. Got some good ones in there. Castlevania Bloodlines, Hyperstone Heist. A couple Sonic figures, Sonic and Knuckles there, Haunting Star and Poltergeist. Little Battletoads belt buckle and my Xbox One games. And Xbox 360. With some original Xbox right below that. And a couple of little micro consoles. That front one there is Oregon Trail, and that's just a little mini Tetris game. All right, now to the middle shelf. I got a couple Famicom games up top with some NES loose carts. Some of them have manuals. If I can find the matching manuals, I'll grab them. Some of the new Game & Watches. Yeah, there's two Mario Brothers ones. One's open, one's not. I got one for my son. He didn't really dig it too much. And then a couple boxed Famicom games up top there. And here's my boxed NES collection. Sorry about the glare from the window, guys. Some of my favorites from this system were, of course, Zelda, Contra, Jaws. Surprisingly, Lee Trevino's Fighting Golf holds a special place. I used to play that with my dad all the time, along with Super Tecmo Bowl, one of my all-time favorite NES games. And then over here, more NES box games, including all three of the Turtles. Don't have Tournament Fighters, but don't care. A couple of the McDonald's Mario toys. And here are my Super Nintendo games, some of the loose games that were put into these clamshell cases. Some heavy hitters there like Chrono Trigger, Demon Crest, Earthbound. Good stuff. The Home Improvement game, surprisingly rare. Not worth a ton because it's average at best, honestly. Super Metroid, Turtles in Time, great stuff. And here's my complete box. Super Nintendo. Got some good ones, those Lufias, really good games. Right below that are my complete box Game Boy Advance games. Metroid Fusion, really good. Those Golden Sun games, a lot of fun. Fire Emblems. I do not have the original Fire Emblem in the box. One day. Breath of Fire is really cool. And we got a few Game Boy Color complete box games, starting with Pokemon Pinball, all the way to Dragon Warrior 3. Here's my little Chrono Trigger mini shrine with the Super Famicom box game and the mini figures from Square Enix. I absolutely love these. They look so good. And loose Super Nintendo manuals with a couple more complete in box games. That's Grandia Parallel Trippers. That's a English patched aftermarket cartridge. I do have the original one too. And off to the Switch games, which is my second biggest collection next to Game Boy. Love love changing out the spine cards on these. Spine cards, they're just a guy on Etsy who makes them. And I've been slowly replacing all the spines on my Switch games because I thought the Sea of Red was not personally attractive to me. I like the color, I like seeing the different fonts and stuff for that for the different games, so I went ahead and just slowly started replacing all those. Tons of games on the Switch to collect, and I love collecting for it. One day I'll play through them all, maybe. And then we're diving into the Wii U games and the Wii titles. All right, time for the last part, guys. And that is the PlayStation stuff. Up top, we start with the PSP games. Nasty Glare, sorry. Really like the PSP, a lot of fun. Doing a little side series, the PSP pick, which has been slow lately because I've been super busy with work and family stuff, so I'll get back onto it eventually. Down here, we got the beginning of the PS4 titles and the PS5 over here. Waiting on one more Shantae to fill this slipcover in. And then the Vita games. And below that is the rest of the PS4. That noise you heard probably is the VCR again. Couple of the PS4 special editions and some steelbooks and more PS4 games. I played a ton of PS4. Below that we have my original PlayStation. And the beginning of PS2. Over here we got a little Shantae shrine, if you will, with the little Game Boy Color re-releases that Limited Run Games did, and a Funko. Got what's left of my Evercade collection, which I just downsized quite a bit. And some more special editions for PS4. And then the rest of the PS2 collection. And below that, I have the PS3 games. This is a Sega Ages game for Dragon Force, in case you're curious. And the last bit of PS2. And the last bit of PS3 down here. Little Kingdom Hearts collection there. And a bunch of steelbooks. And long box PS1 games. And the iToy for the PS2. Here's the recliner that I use to play my games. Got a War up there that I plan on starting very soon. Over here next to my chair is my remote drink station, including some funny little drinking coasters there. Nut button. I use that a lot when I'm playing games with the guys. Some controllers down there, a little snackage there, and some charging cables and whatnot. All right, guys, there you have it. Emperor Fox's game room tour. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And thanks for watching.